Welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwame. My guests, Kwame Safo and Edmond Sedinam. Guys, so we saw the action. Algeria won, Angola won. Thoughts, Edmond? Let me start off with you.
I would say a surprising result because we thought, personally, I felt that we were done with all the surprises in the early part of the campaign. All the big guys pulling shenanigans and things. I thought that was the end, but this was really surprising. And we have to give it to the I think his name is Goncalves, the Angolan coach. He just switched it and won this game and for me, it's a win for Angola. And it's a loss for Algeria.
I see.
Interesting.
Safo.
Yeah, so something was said in the commentary when I watched the game. They said Algeria in the first half played like the 2019 Algeria, and Algeria in the second half played like the 2022 AFCON Algeria. Because Algeria are my picks to win. I keep on telling people this and they think I'm crazy, but you see the immense talent in that team. In the first half, they were so comfortable. They played Angola basically off the pitch. I mean, if you watch the calf move of the day, Beleli, they were just toying with them at a point. So you think they would kill them off, especially, and this was a game in which Riyad Mahrez was not really involved in that match. Even off the bench, they had Zerouki, this Dutch player who is having a phenomenal season in Feyenoord. They have Houssem Aouar, who has naturalized switched from France to Algeria. So there's that quality. You just don't know what's happening to them. And they had something similar like this in the past AFCON where they didn't start off with a win. And mind you, they have a very tricky group because we will talk about that today, Mauritania and Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso are the dark horse of AFCON. They seem to have a way to turn up. You couldn't secure a point against Angola. That game against Burkina Faso is going to be tough. Maybe you can get something with Mauritania, but looking at the fact that the new coach of Mauritania is the Comoros coach, even that is not a given. But if you take the game in perspective, I think Riyad Mahrez really needs to be stepping up. If he is not the Mahrez we've known for quite some while, I think they have enough talent to bench him. Because yesterday they even had this free kick in the Mahrez territory. And they just made a mess out of it. Baghdad Bounidjah needs to be involved in the game more often because yesterday the overhead kick after the goal he scored, he was taken off on the 61st minute for Islam Slimani. If he had enough of those balls over the top, because Angola were struggling with the balls over the top, they have the ability to retain the ball. Yesterday I tweeted something that in Kumasi, Ghana have them puffed against Angola just to maintain a ball, but they were just slicing them open. It was just left with the final third. But in and all of itself, you will look at this Angolan team and then say that the coach changed it because, you know, coaches,
because in the first half they struggled, and then in the second half,
and the player he brought on won the penalty, scored the penalty. Bululu, you see, coaches are making changes that are winning team games, and other coaches are making changes that are costing teams. So, but that is what coaching is basically about.
You mentioned the change. So, what did the change do?
They were being overrun in the middle. Algeria were just having like a field day. It's like the Angolan midfield didn't exist. They created just one chance. I don't know if they wanted to sit at the back and counter, but even that was not working because to sit at the back and counter, that means you need to have somebody who plays the passes through for your captain, because the Angolan captain seems to be the only one up top. But the pass guy was just ineffective. They were just running through the midfield. So I think what Mabululu did was, in as much as the player he brought on had this defensive mindset, he was also good for them attacking wise. And if you are not getting the second goal to kill the game, you get frustrated as an Algerian side. And it just took a rush in the head. You wouldn't expect a player of, I don't know if it was Ben Sibani or, it was a very top player.
It was a very poor tackle.
To make such a tackle.
I think it was Bentaleb, I think.
Yeah, Bentaleb.
Bentaleb. Yeah, he was the one.
I thought it was a very, very poor tackle.
It's similar to what Mozambique conceded. Kicking through the individual to get to the ball in the penalty box.
I see.
This is not the EFL. this is certainly not. This is Africa's biggest tournament. So the tackles in there need to be coincised to get away with things. But
sorry to cut. Quite contrary. This is what happens in Africa.
No,
You see,
no.
You see, it's VR that is saving the African game. Some 10 years back, it would have been play on.
But now we also want to evolve the game for it to be a bit more technical, tactical, brilliant, and things. And when it comes to those technical and tactical things, the brute force does not work.
Yeah. But the other interesting point I want to talk about. One, of course, with the Baghdad Bunija goal, that was correct decision, but that was a brilliant goal.
I think sometimes the VAR must just close its eyes.
If that were scored against your country, you wouldn't like it.
But you see, even with that goal, I think it's technology, because it was very tight.
Yeah.
I think they didn't pay much attention. It was so tight. Any other day without a VR, that is a clear goal. And you see, I think that's Baghdad Bunija is just. He doesn't need to play for Napoli or No. When he comes into, someone said something that when these top European players come to Africa, it's like the Black Panther. They strip them of all their powers, and the African players, because look at even the goal, that one touch, played it with the outside of his foot in such a way that it's curling far away from the goalkeeper. What do you do about
brilliant
that?
Technique.
But Baghdad,
because the ball clears the defender. Yeah. And Bunija had to adjust his body
one touch
just to fire it past the goalkeeper.
It was a beautiful goal.
The other bit, the penalty, the Angolan penalty, and I think it's the most interesting penalty I've seen, where the ball hits the underside of the bar. I'm sure the player doesn't even know it's crossed, but he just hits it in just to be double sure.
To avoid the Lampard rule. It happened to Lampard
2010
against
Germany.
That was a clear goal. Yeah. But just for security, just stamp it in so that we don't waste time to go and check the VAR and come and be double sure about it. It's just for security's sake. He just wanted to get the goal. He was not sure of himself. I feel that was it. He just wasn't sure of his kick. But he also could have missed that penalty easily.
Yeah. Hitting the underside of the bar.
An inch more, it would have deflected outward.
It's coming back. As we wrap it up, Safo, so for Algeria, where do they go from here? Because we saw them, they had a horrible run 2-3 years ago in the last AFCON. And now they've played the second half that reminds us of that. So how do they get to be a bit more consistent over 90 minutes?
To answer that question, let me just take a little bite of the penalty thing. And it's one thing on Sunday when we were doing the AFCON on Citi FM, I realized there's a deficiency of a team like the Black Stars. They don't play to the whistle. If you watch the Sunday game, they just stop playing and they are throwing their arms up in the air. So because there's a VAR. I don't know if they don't know there's a VAR in the game. There's a VAR in the game. So no matter how, it will be checked. He didn't need to be, because you remember the Lampard kick. After he kicked the ball and he just turned and he was throwing. You just need to be sure. So far as the ball is coming to you, make sure that 100%, and that's a trait, I don't know, they need to tell the boys, play to the whistle. To the referee has whistled, just stay focused, because any other country will not wait for, it's like what happened to us the last AFCON. Gabon did not play the ball out. So we were inattentive and then Gabon equalized. So that's just a little thing I wanted to say about that. For Algeria, I still tip them as my tournament favorite. I think the best thing they can do is they need to keep their head. I mean,
you feel it's mental?
Yeah, because these things happen. I don't think in 2022, the AFCON, they were bad. Results didn't go for them. They were losing to Gambia. But when you watch those games, they are games they dictate. So in as much as you dictate the game, it's about chance creation in and of itself. Because they can play through the channels, they can give the long balls. But you take Bunija's goal, I think the closest to a goal is, I don't know if it was Benacer. He had this curl. It wasn't shown in the replay.
I think it was in the first half.
It was in the first half. He came off the flank and just, that was like the best chance, clear-cut chance I could remember. You go to the second half, I'm trying to remember the chances. They are not coming to me. They created something, but they are not coming to me. It's not, you see, possession without penetration does not lead to anything.
Yeah.
So they need to be clinical.
And I didn't think being clinical is not their problem. They just don't create clear-cut chances, because if you are creating clear-cut chances and you have the Baghdad there, he would score it. And again, Riyad Mahrez, we are not seeing, because coach said something during last week's panorama that one of the reasons why he doesn't care about Black Stars, the reason he wants to watch is to see the likes of Riyad Mahrez, what has happened to him after he left Europe. I was also looking out for that yesterday. He was totally anonymous. If I'm the coach, it's either I'm speaking to him or I'm benching him to send a signal to the players that we are not here to joke. You are the Desert Foxes. You are one of the teams with the biggest stars in the tournament. So create clinical chances, and then Mahrez should take leadership of this team.
And finally, as we wrap it up, if you're Angola, you said the result is like a win for Angola.
Yeah.
They got that second half right. So for them, what is the next step?
Next step is, I think the coach over-respected Algeria going into this game, hence his tactics. But going into their next game, come on.
They've got what? They've got Mauritania.
They've got Mauritania.
And Burkina Faso.
But they're
their
playing
next 2 games.
Yeah, Mauritania first. Listen, Mauritania should be a team that they should beat. We, or the Black Stars, quote and unquote, struggled against this Angolan team.
It's true.
So they need to tap into those strong points of theirs. They've got players to make things happen. Right now, we see the AFCON being played on a certain scale, which shows the importance of teamwork. They need to work together as a team and deploy a tactics that would negate that of Mauritania. But if they go in playing like, let's try the first half, let's see what happens, they will be surprised.
I see. So you feel that they need to go after Mauritania, try to dominate?
Certainly. Don't dominate. Score your goals.
Just score.
Because their XG in the second half against Algeria was way bigger than what they did in the first half. Even bigger than that of Algeria in the second half. So that shows that they have that kind of potential up front. It's up to them for them to take that opportunity and make Mauritania account for themselves.
Okay.